We proudly present Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
Sox put a W on the board last night thanks to Peavy, Pierzynski, and Adam all getting it done. Let's not forget about the outstanding glove work either. Robin has this club playing aggressive baseball as the Sox look for a split in the series today against the O's next, right here on Comcast Sportsnet. We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where this afternoon Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. Here's Paul Konerko, Adam Dunn, Gavin Floyd, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Nick Markakis, Adam Jones, and the Baltimore Orioles. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson. He's Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the finale of this four-game set and this homestand. As you know, the Sox started off this homestand taking 2 out of 3 from Detroit. Orioles in the first 3 games have taken 2 out of 3 from us. But last night we won that ball game 8-1 behind an awesome performance by Jake Peavy, going 7 innings, giving up just a 1 run, no walks, had 8 strikeouts. So the Sox now are 6-5, Baltimore at 7-5, and this afternoon Gavin Floyd.
Gavin Floyd throwing very well and always throws well against his former, well, not former team, but the place he used to live, that being Baltimore. He's 4-2 lifetime against the Orioles, and he has been getting the curveball over the plate. He's been spotting his fastball, generally doing a pretty good job, and I look for the same type of performance today. It's going to be a lot livelier at the ballpark because it's warm, it's sunshine, it's a beautiful day, and hopefully they can split this series with the Orioles, go on the road to Seattle, and everybody will have positive feelings.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
It's a gorgeous day, 50 degrees. It's going to warm up somewhat. Wind will be a factor, but no rain in evidence. Here's our Home Depot doing more on defense, and it's last night with Alexei Ramirez, who was absolutely brilliant a couple of times. This being one of them, getting Chris Davis at first base and getting out of the inning. Likewise with the 6-4 putout, and one more spectacular play, the 360 spin. Fires to first to get Markakis. Our Home Depot doing more on defense. So let's take a look at how Buck Showalter, in this the fourth game of a four-game series, is going to line up his Orioles. Andy Chavez leading off. J.J. Hardy hitting second. And then it's Markakis, Jones, Nick Johnson is the DH. Reynolds, Davis, Paulino, and Andino. No Wieters in the lineup today. The defense and how they'll line up behind Gavin Floyd, left to right, Viciedo, Diaz, and Rios. In the infield, Brent Littlebridge gets a chance at third, along with Ramirez, Escobar, and Dunn. Tyler Flowers will get the nod behind the plate, and the Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Gavin Floyd. He's looking for win number 2. Fine ERA just over 3. Like to get that curveball working early, and so far with opponents hitting just 200 against him, that's pretty impressive stuff. The Orioles come in first place. They're a half game ahead of the surprising Toronto team. Toronto 6-5, Baltimore 7-5 as we head into action today. So Buck Showalter has his team playing good early. And the Sox in second place, 2.5 games behind a streaking Detroit team. The Tigers winners of 4 in a row. Sox winners of 6 of their last 10. So hopefully with a victory today, can go on the road at 7-5 and then head to the West Coast to Seattle and Oakland. So we're ready to play baseball, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here over Comcast Sportsnet. Finale of this 4-game set and finale of this homestand. Sox, as we mentioned at the top, won 2 out of 3 from the Tigers, and they've lost 2 out of 3 to the Orioles. So here we go. 6'6" right-hander Gavin Floyd as Andy Chavez stands in the box. And the first pitch of the ball game is taken up high. And welcome to Earth Week right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Green lives here. That's out of play left side. Orioles, they are a dangerous club. Make no mistake about it. They can hit some home runs. They have 20 of them. Only one behind Major League leading Texas. That's up high. Orioles hitting at .252 as a team, with a 3.65 ERA. And the 2-1. Evens account.
Take a look at the umpires for today's game. Jerry Meals behind the plate. Lance Barrett is at first. The crew chief Gary Darling at second. And Corey Blazer at third.
Outfield slightly to the left. And here at the old ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straight away center.
Gavin tried to use a straight change. Chavez expanded his strike zone and fouled it off.
And there's ball 4, so good speed aboard.
That's been the one factor for Gavin this year that has not been up to his usual performance, and that is bases on balls. He's got 6 of them now in 11 2/3 innings.
Shortstop J.J. Hardy hitting at 196, 3 homers. He's driven in 3. Pretty good lead by Chavez. And there's strike 1. Hardy 3 for 12 in this series with a homer, and lifetime against Gavin is 4 for 12. 0-2 the count for the 29-year-old shortstop who last year hit 30 homers.
Well, this is where, if you're Andy Chavez at first base, you're looking for a breaking ball in the dirt. Tyler Flowers looking over into our dugout to see if they might want to pitch out or a throw over to first base. They call the throws over also.
He wants the fastball up. Unless that was a deke.
They've been known to do that, those catchers.
I believe it.
They're sneaky fellows.
I'll tell you, he used to do it as a manager. Having to do it was Dick Williams. God rest his soul. He gone.
Gavin has terrific stuff. It's just harnessing it. That's the cutter or the slider that he threw well out of the zone to Hardy. He missed it by a foot.
So that'll bring up Markakis, hitting at 196, a couple of homers. He's driven in 6. He's 2 for 14 in this series and 7 for 20 lifetime off Gavin.
Well, the way Markakis has hit in this series, which has been very little, you would think this would be the time that Buck Showalter would choose to send Chavez.
Lillibridge at the cut of the grass at third as there is a base hit into right field. Chavez going to make the turn. And he will pull it up and get back in as Alex got to it quickly and made a nice throw in to Lillibridge.
That's a big play by Alex Rios early, because Chavez had every intention of going to third base. And with a bouncer through the infield, you'd think with his speed he could have made it. But Alex freezes him there. The coach puts up the stop sign. He gets back. A world of difference with only 1 out, man at second, man at third.
So 2 on, 1 out, and here's the center fielder, the cleanup hitter, Adam Jones. Comes in at 306, 4 homers and 5 knocked in. Nope. Lifetime against Gavin is 2 for 9.
If you're going to go up high, you want to make sure it's face high to Jones, because he hits a high fastball pretty well. And there's not a lot of great high fastball hitters in the American League these days, but he's one of them.
Well, the best high fastball hitter in this league is one of the smallest guys in this league, and that's Dustin Pedroia.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the little guy in Boston. You're hard-pressed to get anything by him at any speed if you throw it face high, hat high. And for him, it's not all that high.
That's why he's one of the best high ball hitters.
He's terrific. He really is.
Curveball, yes. And the count 1-2.
When Gavin gets that one over early, he can be a handful. This is a quick, snapping curveball in a perfect spot. There's no way that Jones or anybody else is going to do much with that.
Two and 2. Nick Johnson on deck.
Do you have any trouble as a hitter going from a night game to a day game, especially bright sunshine?
It's according to what I did after the night game.
Well, I know you'd work out a lot, so
yeah.
You know, depending on how tired you'd get yourself.
That's fouled back. I love day games. I love them.
I think a hitter naturally sees the spin of the ball better, doesn't he?
Well, I could. I don't know what my average was versus day game and night game, but I would say it was appreciably higher in day game. But I didn't care about the average. I just wanted what my RBI production was much better in the day games as it was at night games. Hughes, that one is going foul, but we played more day games than they play today. Plus, we played scheduled doubleheaders.
And they don't want to. They want, and you can understand why an owner would want 81 dates.
You got to have them today. For the cost of doing business.
The money you're paying for everything. It's hotels, it's flights, it's everything. And, of course, players' salaries are very high, but the revenues are very high.
Well, as I said the other day, the average, or not the average, but the minimum salary is $480,000 now in the big leagues, and that was more than the entire payroll of some teams back when I played. The 2-2. Base hit. Good piece of hitting there by Jones. So they're going to wave Chavez around. Nobody at second base as he'll get the ball back in. So a little breakdown. Adam Jones moves into second. So Baltimore leads at 1-0.
RBI number 6. That's a cutter away, and Jones had seen a bunch of those. Finally saw one he took to right center field. Well, the big mistake here is allowing the trailing runner to get to second base out of the double play. Nobody was at second. So Alex looked, he was going to throw there. There wasn't anybody to throw to. Gary Darling, the umpire, was the closest guy to the bag.
So Alex is going to go to second, but nobody was there. So here's Nick Johnson with ducks on the pond. Takes a curveball strike, and that leadoff walk comes around to score. What new?
You know, Adam Jones keeps looking better and better.
There's a chopper. They're going to give Markakis home plate. So 2-0 Orioles.
First run batted in for Johnson. He has yet to have a hit in 17 at bats.
Well, that pitch that Adam Jones drilled into right center field, that's a pitch that if you're down in the bullpen on the working the side, and you throw that same pitch on a 1-2 or 2-2 count, pitch goes, that is going to get him. I don't care who's at the plate.
That's exactly right. Unless you've seen 3 or 4 in that at bat. But that was very much a pitcher's pitch. Jones just went out, didn't try to overswing, made contact, and turned into gold for him.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, he grabbed some bench on that pitch. Breaking ball strike. Can't let this guy here beat you on a fastball. Reynolds 2 for 11 in the series. 1 for 6 lifetime against Gavin, and that 1 hit left to premises. Comes in hitting at 167. Jacks it up on that one, and the count 1-2.
Outfield straight away and very deep all the way around. Reynolds is enormously strong.
A few years ago, 44 home runs for the D-backs, but he struck out, I believe, 223 times. He gone. And that'll retire the side, but they come up with a pair, and after a half inning of play, it's the bad guys 2 and the good guys coming back.
our Sox today. Piazza leading off. Brett Lillibridge getting a start at third. Then it's Dunn, who drove in 3 last night. Canerco, Rios, Ramirez, Viciedo, Flowers, and Eduardo Escobar playing second and hitting 9. The defense, and now they'll line up behind Jason Hamill. Chavez, Jones, and Markakis left to right. Reynolds, Hardy, and Dino and Davis. Paulino behind the plate. Wieters getting the day off, and Jason Hamill on the hill. He's 1-0 this year, a sparkling 2.08 ERA. He's added a 2-seam fastball to his repertoire, and now he's getting a little more movement than he used to.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. As here's Piazza hitting at .233, 3 homers. He's driven in 6. Hamill, 30-year-old right-hander. 6'6", 225 pounds, out of Rehoboth, Mass. And last night, Piazza got a get-me-over breaking ball on 3-2.
He's really shown some surprising power this year. That's home run number 3. He's driven in 6 and done a pretty good job at the top.
Jacks it up. Two and one. Tough pitch right there.
That's his slider. And it's a pretty good one. He has all 4 pitches: the curveball, the slider, fastball, and change.
Checked it up. A full count to our leadoff hitter. That is out of play.
Hamill came over from the Colorado Rockies back on February 6th with Matt Lindstrom in exchange for Jeremy Guthrie.
That's tough foul. Lillibridge on deck. All 4 base hit right here. Alejandro. Ate him up inside. And right now, let's check out our picks to click this afternoon. Canangio, our directing the crew. Well, A was Alexei. Steve's going with Adam Dunn. And J.J. Shira, Ed Fernandez. No, great folks at Ditka's. Tonight, we're going to go with Escobar. First pitch, fastball strike. Lillibridge looking for his first hit of the year. He's 0 for 5.
Hamill throwing that fastball 93, 94 miles an hour. That's his 4-seamer.
He almost ducked into that one.
Got hit in the helmet with that hanging curveball.
Whew. You can get him that one. We got a problem. Right on the outside edge of the outside corner.
It's there, Menard's pitch tracks. And even though he missed his spot,
that's what that is a residual of. And the guy can hit the outside edge of the outside corner on you. Come back with a bad breaking ball down and away.
There's no difference in the keys to Jason Hamill as any other pitcher. Get ahead of the hitter, it becomes a defensive at bat. You get behind him, obviously just the opposite.
Most important pitch in baseball. Always has been, always will be. First pitch strike. And the next probably biggest pitch is a 1-1.
Well, I had that debate with Greg Maddux. He feels that the 1-1 pitch is the biggest pitch. I said the only difference, in my estimation, with the first pitch being the biggest pitch, is if you're 1-1, you can't go 0-2. And if any good pitcher gets you 0-2 and you get a hit, you're a very lucky person.
Well, the averages will tell you one thing. The guys hit a heck of a lot more on 1-1 than they do on 0-1.
For sure.
Adam had a big bases clearing double last night. Broke the game open off a left-hander. 1-2.
Adam faced Hamill in his days in the National League.
Yes, he did. Faced him 13 times and has 5 hits with a homer. Two out and a 2-2 pitch. Canerco on deck. He walks there. So here's Pauly. Pauly comes in hitting at .349 with a homer and 9 knocked in. 3 for 12 in this series with 2 big RBIs, and lifetime against Hamill has faced him 8 times, has 2 hits, both of which left the ballpark. Takes it right there. Top of the 5th inning down in Miami. Marlins leading the Cubs 5-3. And there's a nice piece of hitting. Base hit. Adam will pull up at second.
You want to know how you hit around 300 most of the time? Take that pitch and don't try to pull it. It's kind of a hanging breaking ball, but it was out away. There's a huge gap on the right side, and Pauly goes right there.
So here's Rios hitting at .267, a homer. He's driven in 2. Takes it right there. Alex 4 for 9 in the series and 4 for 14 lifetime off Hamill with a homer. That is slashed. Foul, and the count 0-2. Ball gets away. Leaders with the throw. No. Everybody's safe. Sacks packed. Check that. Paulino.
Alex didn't pick it up right away. Paulino didn't pick it up at all. But by the time he recognized where it was, he couldn't make a good throw to first base. This ball gets away. It is indeed strike 3, called by Jerry Meals. And Alex just stood there for a bit, not realizing that with 2 outs, he better go.
So here's Alexei hitting at .293. 4 for 10 in the series. Make it hurt, Alexei. That curveball hangs inside.
One of the things that Hamill has not done is been able to control the inside part of the plate. He's been throwing the ball away from most every right-hand hitter.
Take him into right center. One and one to count with a big pitch coming up. 2-0 Baltimore here in the bottom of the first, if you're just joining us. That rolling curveball. And now advantage goes to Hamill.
With the bases loaded, Ramirez, his entire career, has been very good. His first year produced 4 of those 5 grand slams.
Two and two. And it's full. Now, disc jockeys of yesteryear will be yelling, standing on the top step of that dugout. Squeeze it. Squeeze it.
Well, he's going to see all the runners going. In a similar situation last night, 3 scored on a double by Dunn.
Softly hit back through the middle. Hardy picks it up, throws him out, and that'll retire the side. So he jammed himself right there. And Hamill gets out of it. After one, it is 2-0 Birds.
Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
And a reminder, if you've seen the White Sox Dynamic Ticket Deal of the Week, we'll enjoy a variety of price options for specific games and seating locations. Now, the best tickets and the best locations directly from the White Sox. Buy early and save with the White Sox Dynamically Priced Tickets. Visit whitesox.com/pricing. And you might want to visit whitesox.com/pricing because that is something that could save you a lot of money and in some cases even make you money. Buy early and save from the primary source.
Get the best seat selection.
First pitch strike to Chris Davis. Two nothing Baltimore here in the top of the second.
Davis had a brief shot with Texas, but they have a lot of first basemen over there. And it could very well be that Baltimore made a terrific deal to get this young man.
Well, he's got a huge upside. Now, he's always had that and never achieved it, but he's 26 now. And he has a little experience. And you know what experience is?
Yep.
Something you got when you didn't want to get it.
He had some failure. He had to fight his way through that.
He gone.
There's a pitch, that higher than high fastball that we don't see too many guys, especially guys with the classic uppercut swing. They can't get to this. Davis is a home run hitter, and he does have that uppercut swing.
Yeah, that's where he got his experience in the past.
If he doesn't lay off that, he's going to get a lot more of it.
He's got to learn how to do that. Here's Ronnie Polino, 7 for 15 on this young season. That'll pencil out to 467. And the count 0-2.
Gavin's doing well with that cutter. It's really giving him another weapon to go with that terrific curveball.
In that Marlin game, Samardzija went 3 2/3, gave up 8 hits, 5 runs. Russell came on. Nolasco in the bump for the Fish. And I believe that is a couple of the games in progress. Dodgers leading Milwaukee 4-2. Breaking ball off the end of the bat. 2 down. That Dodger game in the bottom of the 5th. Middle of the 4th in St. Louis, Cincinnati shutting out the Redbirds 3-0. Everything else is later.
St. Louis gotten off to a great start at 9-3. Winners of 4 in a row. Cincinnati really struggling, 4-8.
Dodgers went into Miller Park with a 9-1 record. They're now 9-3.
Well, despite losing Prince Fielder, Milwaukee still has some thunder in that lineup.
And Dino pops it up right side. Alex is there, makes the catch. 1-2-3 inning. Nice 1-2-3 inning for Gavin, but he trails it 2-0. And Phil Rogers joined Mindy Kaplan's husband, David, live from the United Center to discuss the day's hottest sports topics and set the table for the night ahead. Chicago Tribune Live presented by Captain Morgan. Tonight at 5 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
I know Mindy very well, and she needs to get her eyes checked.
That's cold. That first pitch strike to Tank. Viciedo hitting at 250. Couple of homers, he's driven in 2. One and one. Big hack, but no contact. As I mentioned, Hamill, 6'6", 225 pounds. One out. Tyler Flowers. That was the first time Tank has seen Hamill. And this is the first time that Tyler has seen it. Usually that doesn't work too well, especially for young hitters.
Especially with Hamill getting just about everything over the plate. Still, if he throws a fastball, look for it away.
Tyler 1 for 6 on the young season. And that one hit was a homer.
That last pitch was the pitch that he started working on in spring training and uses it now, which is a 2-seam fastball that moves inside to the right-hand hitters, inside and down.
That's low. And of course, here was that one hit that Tyler has this year against the Tigers.
Not much doubt about this one. And around 430 feet.
Oh, you got a cookie right there. A little too quick. Couldn't do anything with it.
I assume when you see it sitting there looking like it's on a stick, it's pretty inviting for a hitter.
Well, again, that is where experience. You got some guys in this league would hit that pitch out of here. Hanging curveball. Meanwhile, 2 down. Youngsters have a tendency to be way too quick on it.
Get excited.
Yep.
Try to go out and get it and either foul it back or hit it foul.
Well, it's a process. It's a thought process. It's an approach. When you're playing sporadically like Tyler is, you want to do so much. Subconsciously, you want to do so much. And you see something like that, a hanger, as you say, just sitting on a tee for you, and you just can't wait for it to get there.
Well, Hamill got away with one, but he does have pretty good stuff today. Let's see if Escobar can handle it.
Escobar grounded out on a 3-2 pitch to second. Hamill's got pretty good stuff, period. And that'll do it. He now has 4 strikeouts, and he leads it 2-0. Series with the Mariners on Comcast Sportsnet. Don't miss a minute of the action from Safeco Field. Coverage begins at 2:30 with White Sox pregame live. White Sox Mariners Sunday afternoon at 2:30 only on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Tomorrow it'll be Chris Sale against Hector Noesi. And that game will be over WGN. On Saturday, Philip Humber, who pitched well in his first outing against Blake Bevan, 6'7" right-hander. And that game will be over Fox. And as you just heard, Comcast on Sunday. There's a bunt. Gavin. Nobody's there.
That's the one thing that Escobar, who doesn't play there every day, has got to realize. When you see the first baseman off the bag, you've got to sprint to second. It's a good bunt. You see where Escobar went. His natural reflexes took him toward the ball. Now you're done. If the first baseman goes to field it, pitcher can't get there.
Well, he is primarily a shortstop. But he played a lot of second.
Just takes great coordination on a play like that.
Well, that's just like a pitcher cover. It's got to be inbred, so to speak. You've got to work on it hundreds of times. So Chavez, who walked and scored in the first, starts it off right here in the third with that bunt single. And here's Hardy, who struck out. In essence, what you're doing right now, as we speak, unless there's a double play, you're giving them 4 outs. And when you get a good offensive club, you get Texas, Detroit. This Baltimore club is a good offense, dangerous. Let me put it that way. It's a dangerous offensive team.
It's got some thunder in the middle of that lineup.
Yeah, you give them 4 outs, chances are they're going to hurt you. There he goes. Bauer, he gone.
Well, this year, both A.J. and Tyler Flowers have done a great job of cutting down would-be base stealers. This is another cutter or slider in the dirt. Tyler goes down and gets it. The throw gets down there so quickly that Chavez is hung out to dry.
Well, A.J. talked about it last night. They worked on it all spring, which something he said, A.J. said, we have not done in the past. They worked on it. They also worked on Alexei taking the ball on the bag rather than coming up and then having to go back.
It makes the world of difference.
Well, we're seeing it.
Yeah.
Here's a 1-2. Oh, just stayed inside. But we're seeing the efforts of that work.
That one just hooked around the plate.
It's been, in A.J.'s case, and with Ramon Castro, it's been torture on those guys in the last few years.
Well, a catcher gets frustrated. If he comes up and the guy is 3/4 of the way there, you can't get him.
So now that caught stealing looms large, as here's Markakis, who singled and scored in the first. Yeah, it gets to be really frustrating when you know you got no chance. And yet if you don't make a throw down there, what you're doing in essence is you're showing the pitcher up, and he's a teammate and you don't want to show him up. So it's just a myriad of negative things that can happen because of that. Oh, and 1 to count. Yeah, this spring was probably the most fundamentals worked on by a Sox club in a long time.
Well, you're seeing it. They're executing pretty well, with the exception of a mental mistake here. Actually, a couple of them not covering bases that should have been covered, but in the physical aspect of execution, they've done a very good job.
The 0-2. That ball hit deep. Stay in here. Alex back right in front of Jackie Robinson, makes the catch.
That one more of a rolling curveball. Unfortunately, at 51 degrees, the park is not quite as lively as we thought it would be today. Otherwise, this is a home run. See the curveball just kind of spinning, and to a left-hander down and in without a whole lot of break. Pretty good pitch to hit. So Alex does a nice job. Gavin 1 out away from getting out of it.
So here is Adam Jones, who doubled in a run in the first, and he just had a heck of an at bat. And here, watch the pitch. Watch the location. I believe it was a 2-2 count.
That ball wasn't a strike, but he had seen 3 or 4 pitches in the same area. So obviously looking out there, does a good job of hitting it.
That was what you call really an outstanding at bat.
He's going to have a lot of them this year.
Unfortunately, he's already had a couple of those against us in this series.
Yep.
Hit that home run with 2 out in the 9th inning to tie it in game 1. There's the old equalizer.
That's a terrific hook. Nobody hits that one if Gavin can keep it there.
He gone. He knew it. And that'll retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd, trailing by 2.
He was the only person to play in the World Series for both the Orioles and the White Sox. You ponder that. We'll get back to you with the answer a little later in the game.
It's the top of the order here in the bottom of the 3rd for our guys. Piazza, Lillibridge, and Dunn to face Jason Hamill. Hamill in his 3 years with the Rockies was 27 and 30, and that is not shabby.
Now, pitching in that ballpark is a pretty tough thing to do. And at one point, they viewed Hamill as being one of the mainstays in their rotation. But apparently he had a couple of injuries. They got concerned about it and eventually shipped him over here to Baltimore. But he's got very good stuff.
There's a strike. There's a base hit. So he will pull up at second with a leadoff double. That is his second two-back.
Talked with Buck Showalter about Alejandro Diaz, and he said he's a good-looking player. He said we saw a little bit of that last year, but we're going to see a whole lot of it this year as he doubles into the corner. Promising way to lead off the third inning. Alejandro swung the bat very well.
There's Lillibridge. He struck out on a curveball. He's got a job to do. Fastball up.
One of the things that Robin has done very well is get those guys who are primarily bench players in the game and get their at-bats. And it's not an easy thing to do. But he's gotten Tyler Flowers a few. Lillibridge probably needs some more. He's getting some. Fukudome has gotten some.
And to count 2-1. Well, that is one of the most important things that a manager has to do. As we talked about earlier, you know, in my time frame and in your time frame, you got a manager who was good from the first pitch of the game to the last pitch of the game. Now the culture has changed. Now you want a manager who's good from the last pitch of the game to the first pitch of the next game.
There's some guys who do it much better than others.
Exactly. And then every now and then you run across a guy who's got both of those.
Well, that's the guy that eventually gets to the Hall of Fame. Because it's not an easy thing to do. It's not a natural thing to do. And this, his first year of managing anywhere, Robin's shown some great promise.
Well, Earl Weaver was just about as good as anybody at that. Earl seemed like he always had 4 outfielders that got in 100 games and 5 infielders that got in 100 games.
Didn't mind a platoon system. The only thing he really minded were bunts. I'm not sure if voluntarily he'd ever put the bunt sign on. He hated to give away outs.
He wanted the 3-run homer.
And he got it.
He had, well, he played. Now listen, in all respect to the games, as he just stayed with the hard stuff for the most part, and that's out number 1. But when he came back, he didn't have those same kind of forces.
And he told me, and I talked with him about it, he said one of the things that differed when he came back was he lost the fire. Himself, he lost the fire. That's what made him a great manager. But it's cyclical. If you have a fiery manager on your team, the next guy coming in is going to be even keel laid back. If you fire the even keel laid back guy, you'll bring in a firebrand as the next manager.
That ball hit hard is fair. Here comes Alejandro. He's going to score. Adam got to hurry. Here's the throw. Safe. It's a 2-1 ball game.
Four runs batted in less than 24 hours as Dunn, driving in his 7th, takes it right down the line by Davis. You would have had to play in a no doubles defense to be able to get that one, because it went right over the bag, skipped into foul territory. Diaz scores easily. And that's a tying run out at second base.
Adam picks up his 4th double. And here's Paulie. Paulie singled on a breaking ball. There was a way. So Paulie is hitting now in 11 of, check that, 12 of the last 13 games he's played in, counting the last one last year. And he's hitting 11 of the 12 this year.
Jones had a good at bat, and Paulie gets one up a little higher, but it's equally outside. There was a huge gap on the right side. That's where he took the base hit in the first inning.
That's another good at bat right there. Made a B pitch on him right there.
Good numbers against Hamill lifetime.
2-0. That's flipped into right field, and that's going to fall for a base hit. So Markakis will get it back in. 1 out, runners at the corners, and here comes Alex.
Paulie 2 for 2.
Well, you might be sitting home, Steve, saying, well, didn't Adam check his outfielders? I don't know. I didn't watch Adam. But here's the thing. You got Markakis out there.
I mean, even if he goes.
That's right. If he checked him, he's not going to go.
Markakis gets to the ball. He's accurate. He's quick. And he's got a strong arm.
Alex, a strikeout victim. And Hamill looking for another one right here. 2-3-0 for Baltimore. 1-4-0 for our guys. Takes that fastball at 95 up high.
You need something in the air with some depth. Chopper in the infield. But you can't roll over on a breaking ball or fastball away.
Jacks it up. Nice catch by one of the fans in the first row behind the Oriole dugout. Nice play, buddy. Rex Barney used to say, give that fan a contract. God rest his soul. He was the PA man for Baltimore for years.
Long time. Former pitcher.
And at one time considered to be the hardest thrower in baseball. There's a base hit. This game is tied at 2. Yes. Don't stop now, boys.
That's a high fastball out of weight. And the Sox hitters have had a very good approach to Hamill today. They're looking away because Hamill hasn't shown that he wants to go inside very much. So the left-handers looking in, right-handers looking away. As Hamill's strong side of the plate is obviously his glove side, which is unusual because it's more times than not the arm side.
Well, again, I love Greg Walker like a second son, and he did a lot of good things, but sometimes, you know, it's time for a change. And last year, we didn't see Alex going to right field like we're seeing right now. Jeff Manto has come in with a fresher approach, a new approach, and some of these guys are liking what they're hearing.
Well, there's a lot of runs batted in. The real prolific run producers are guys that go to right and right center with runners in scoring position, because a lot of pitchers don't want to challenge you inside for fear of missing and giving up the 3-run homer.
Alexei takes that. Boy, you're not going to do anything with that pitch on first ball, fastball anyway. Look at this location. 0-1. 1-1 to count. It's a situation here where the mindset is so important, the approach, because if you don't mind as a hitter taking that first pitch, a pitcher's pitch going away like that for a strike, you got a good chance of having a good at bat. But if you get frustrated a little bit and get a little scared because you're in the hole, now you got no chance.
There's Jeff Manto looking on. Look, every hitting coach, by the time you get to the major leagues, you have a philosophy and you know how to impart it to the players. But the message is different with every one of the guys. Just a question of finding a key with each and every hitter. If a hitting coach can do that, he'll be in very good shape.
Well, a lot of it's just semantics. You might be saying the same thing, only saying it in a different way.
Same message, different messenger.
Tries to double him up like he did on that first pitch, and to count 3-1.
Hamill's about ready to deliver pitch number 65, which on getaway day for these Orioles, they don't want to have to go to their bullpen near this early. But the pitchers are piling up on Jason Hamill.
We're going to leave after the game, as there's ball 4, and that will load them up. So we're going to leave to go to Seattle. First of a 6-game road trip, 3 in Seattle, 3 in Oakland. These Orioles are going out to Anaheim for 3 and then coming back home. So the second walk issued by Hamill, and here's Tank. Desieto 0 for 1, a strikeout, called out. Hamill just worked him over in that first at bat.
He was called out on a tailing fastball that was outside and then came back over the plate.
There's a tough breaking ball pitch on first pitch, 0-1. Sacks packed with Sox for the second time in this game. Got to lay off that one, Tank.
Orioles have only thrown one wild pitch this year. But it's Paulino behind the plate and not Wieters. You have the Gold Glove Wieters.
He aced him. Worked him over again. So a big strikeout. 2 down, and here's Tyler. Tyler grounded out to Reynolds.
Very similar to the pitch that he got called out on last inning.
Well, the whole pitch that set that sequence up was that good breaking ball on first pitch strike. Now all of a sudden, you're really defensive. Especially a young hitter, because he keeps looking the specter of that another breaking ball, especially with 2 strikes, is coming.
Well, Tyler hasn't had much of an opportunity with the bases loaded, but he did make the most of his one hit.
Throwing in the dirt. One and one.
Paulino doesn't absorb the ball like Wieters does. He puts the glove down. He'll stop some of them. He's just not quite as adept as Matt Wieters.
Yeah, Wieters. He's like that time gate.
He's
It just absorbs you. You go and walk through that time gate and
he's big. He's big. He blocks pitches down, and Buck Showalter gave the credit to John Russell, his bench coach and former Major League catcher, for really working well with Wieters, who takes tremendous pride in his defense.
The 2-1. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Sacks packed with 2 in here in the bottom of the 3rd, tied at 2.
32nd pitch of the inning. And this will be the 73rd of the game.
Checks it up, full count. Come on, bench jockeys.
So the advantage is everybody's going to be going.
And the payoff pitch. So we strand the bases loaded for the second time in 3 innings, but 2 runs across the plate, and we're tied at 2.
Locos Tacos from Taco Bell.
And a reminder, come to the Chevy Ride and Drive event in Lot E at U.S. Cellular Field on Saturday, May 5th from 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Test drive a Chevrolet and receive a free pair of White Sox tickets. You must be at least 21 years of age with a valid Illinois driver's license to participate. Comcast Sportsnet goes green for Earth Week. Two, 3-0 for them. 2-5-0 for us. Here in the top of the 4th, it'll be Johnson, Reynolds, and Davis.
Johnson's still looking for his first hit this year, and of course we're hoping it comes in Anaheim.
He knocked in a run back in the 1st inning with a grounder to second. Up high, 1-1 to count. Good breaking ball. The advantage goes to Gavin.
At the advantage at the outset of Nick Johnson's career, they were talking about him in the same terms they're talking about Hosmer this year. He's had a lot of injuries that's really slowed him down over the years. He's had some opportunities to play. Never really reached the full potential that everybody thought he had when he first came into the league.
Not even close.
No.
That's in the dirt, and the count 2-2. Top of the 7th in Milwaukee, Dodgers 4, Brew Crew 3. Bottom of the 7th in Miami, 5-3 Marlins over the Cubs. Big on gas.
Number 5 for Gavin. High heat combined with a fairly slow bat. And going after a pitch out of the zone all turns into a strikeout.
So here's Reynolds. Well, we talked about in between innings here. Jason Hamill has 7 strikeouts through 3 innings of work. And the biggest thing that a hitting coach can do for a hitter is give him a thought process that will take him out of being in between. Because being in between is the worst place a hitter can be. And that's why when you talk about some of the premier hitting instructors of the past, like a Charlie Lau, he would give you something that would take you out of being in between. Not anything, it wasn't anything mechanical. He would give you a thought. And I'll give you an example. Some managers or some hitting coaches is pretty good curveball there. They will tell a guy before he goes to the plate, especially if he's a young guy, say, look, this guy's got a good slider and a good curveball. If he gets 3 of those over, don't worry about it. Just come sit by me. I'll take the strikeout.
Right, hit his fastball.
Beat him on his fastball. You're not going to beat him on his curveball unless he hangs it, or his slider unless he hangs it. Beat him on his fastball. That way you're giving him some flexibility, some leeway in his thinking and his approach. When he goes to that plate, he's sitting dead red. Now, if he gets 3 curveballs over, 3 sliders over, he goes back to that dugout with not a bad feeling, because that's chop foul. He doesn't like it, because he's not going to get 3 breaking balls over to you in 4 bats like that.
Well, you start doing that, and you're going to hang more than your share. So you have to use your fastball. That's why young hitters like it early in the count, especially because they don't have the confidence if they fall behind. If they do take a lot of pitches, they will fall behind, and then the curveball or slider is inevitable.
That's what puts you in between.
Yeah, it's true.
Payoff pitch. And he walks him. So Reynolds struck out in the first, walks here with 1 out in the 4th. Second walk issued. Check that, 3rd walk issued by Gavin. And here's Chris Davis. He struck out on the check swing high fastball. In fact, Robin was talking about that the other day. If you missed that, he was talking about it's better to have a bad idea than no idea at all. Because you can work off a bad idea. If you got no idea at all, you got nowhere to go. That's up high. And he also, in that same interview, mentioned the key word. It's an approach. A mental approach, how you face this particular pitcher. Well, the greatest hitter that ever lived, Ted Williams, had an approach that he used almost every day. In fact, he used it every day. First thing he would do in the morning is he would get up and he would call Helen, if it was a day game, who was the telephone operator there at Fenway Park, and of course she knew his routine. She would check and do her homework, be ready for his phone call. And the first thing he wanted to know was which way the wind was blowing. Next thing he wanted to know was who was pitching for them.
Why didn't he just check his iPad?
He should have.
Yeah.
But he was, computer illiterate.
That wasn't even.
And the third thing he wanted to know was if they had it, who was umpiring behind the plate that day.
In those days, you really got to know the umpires well because you had them. You had American League, National League umps. And you might have a guy call 15 games for you behind the plate in a given year. So the more familiar you are with that umpire, you know his zone before you ever see a pitch.
And what he would do, he told me, was he would take that as he gone. Davis, another one. Gas upstairs. But he would take that information, the pitcher, and he always also, if they didn't have that information, he envisioned the best pitcher that that particular club had. He wanted that number one out there. And he would envision his best fastball, his best curveball, and at that time, just coming in with the best slider. And he would take that along with the wind and the umpire strike zone, and he would think about that until he got ready for the game.
I liked his hitting zone that he put up, the chart of where the ball was and what he would hit if the ball was there. And low and away was a 240 zone. That was the lowest it could possibly be. Not that he couldn't hit it, it's just that that was for him the most difficult pitch. Not the most difficult pitch for most guys.
That is chop foul off the bat of Ronnie Paulino. So 2 out, 1-1 to count. He was great to talk with about hitting. And he would sit there and talk with you for hours about hitting. And we made Eddie Brinkman, old Brinky boy, God rest his soul, longtime White Sox coach. Is that right side? Good play by Escobar. Takes his time, makes the throw, and that will retire the Sox. We go to the bottom of the fourth, 2-2.
And it's looking for the ball where Hamill was throwing it all the time, inside to the left-handers, away from the right-handers. And so the right-handers going to right field, the left-handers trying to pull the ball, and it cost him 2 runs. Now he's starting to throw the ball inside more to the right-hand hitters.
Eduardo Escobar will lead it off. He'll be followed by De Aza and then Lillibridge. Escobar struck out his first trip. We mentioned Hamill with 7 strikeouts through his 3 innings of work.
This is a man you want to see on base to lead off the inning. Break this 2-2 tie.
Taking all the way, and the count 2-1. Just got a piece of it.
Good job of staying alive, because that was in the same spot as the called strike 2. So knowing that Jerry Meals was going to call that pitch a little off the plate, you have to protect.
Hardy. Chris Davis, one of the more graphic examples of stretching by a first baseman.
Yeah, I was going to say one of the more limber guys around. Because if you and I tried that, we'd still be
now?
There. Well, even then.
Now?
Take a look at this.
Pop every Achilles and hamstring I had in my body.
Kenny and I would go down and just stay there. That would be it.
Piazza has grounded to second and then doubled and scored. He started off last inning with that double right down into the right field corner. And the count 0-2. Strikeout number 8.
Well, the Sox, unfortunately, a difficult team to strike out last year as a team. This year, just the opposite. Leading the American League in strikeouts, averaging right around 9 strikeouts per game. And that's 3 innings of no contact. Makes the other 6 real important.
That ball hit high into right center field. Markakis. And a 1-2-3 inning. We'll go to the 5th. Still tied at 2.
And who was the only person to play in the World Series for both the Orioles and the White Sox? And the answer? Louis Aparicio. 59 and 66.
Best shortstop I played against. He was awesome. Little Louis. He stole those bases when everybody in the ballpark knew he was going to steal it. He had a unique style. He would walk, instead of taking his lead down the line, he would walk right to the pitcher. So when that pitcher looked over, he looked like he was standing right on top of the bag. Because back in those days, they didn't have catchers. Pitching coaches giving the catchers a sign, or somebody, the bench coach, giving the catchers a sign to throw over.
Yeah.
Pitchers did it on their own. They would look over there and do it on their own. Good breaking ball. And Dino popped up to right field. 1-2. 2-3-0 for them, 2-5-0 for us. They have stranded 3. We have stranded 6. Gavin has 5 strikeouts. Hamill has 8. Fouls it back. And reminder, join the White Sox mobile group today by texting Ultimate to 244-769. Mobile users get exclusive offers, deals, and contest info. Joining enters you in the drawing for our Ultimate Fan Package. That's when a lucky winner will receive 2 VIP game tickets, an autographed item, and Comiskey cash. So text Ultimate to 244-769.
After the game, we head off to Seattle and Oakland and then come home against the Boston Red Sox. 4 games. You can still get some pretty good seats for those 4. Now they're struggling now, and we hope, of course, they're struggling when they come in, but that's still a talented bunch. We get a chance to see Bobby Valentine. How do you think he's going to do in Boston after the early dust up with Euclid?
Well, it's going to be interesting to watch it play out, because I think Bobby usually has a reason for everything. But Pedroia jumped up, and that set the tone, I think, as that's fouled back.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of guys on that group. Although there's some young players, there's a lot of guys been there a long time and played together as teammates a long time. And I'm not sure if Bobby thought that those comments would settle that poorly with the majority of the veteran players who have a couple of rings.
Yeah, Pedroia set the rhythm and the tempo for the so-called inside the clubhouse backlash. Bobby will figure out something. I think Bobby will do a good job eventually for those guys, but they have to get to know him, and he has to get to know them even better. I know one thing is that's trouble. So now he's going to turn it on, and Dino trying to pick up. Here's the throw. Safe. Had a little trouble getting to the ball out there in right center.
That was the big problem, because Andino was perfectly content, it appeared, to stay at second base. But Diaza had some problems. This ball is right down the middle, splits the plate in 2. Then Alejandro has the ball scoot by him, but he can't control the carom. By the time he does, Andino on his way with a head-first slide.
So here's Indy Chavez, a walk and a run scored and a bunt single. And Sox bring the infield in. You mentioned something a while ago that's been true to form almost every time. I'm sure there have been some examples we could come up with, but for the most part, let's say 90-95% of the time, when you got a laid back manager,
yep,
like Francona, nice pick right there. Or did it hit him?
Yeah,
it hit him. It wasn't a pick. So now trouble of brewing. Runners at the corners and nobody out, and that'll bring up Hardy. But when you got a laid back guy like Terry, you're going to come in with somebody like a Bobby, and vice versa.
Yeah, next day when it comes time to take Bobby down from that spot, the guy probably won't be as fiery as Bobby.
Well, as they have a little conversation at the mound, Bobby's got a lot of Billy Martin in him. And Billy, if you'll recall, Billy was a guy who had most of the time a short shelf life with most of the clubs. But when he came in, he got the job done for a couple of years.
He's one of the managers that's a turnaround specialist. You give him a team with some talent, and he had to have one of those. Not the greatest talent, but he had to have some talent like most managers. But if you gave him that kind of talent, he could turn your whole big league team around shortly.
Well, I like Bobby Valentine, and I think that I hated to see that scenario develop there.
A tough way to start the season with a lot of injuries and the team struggling in last place.
Well, there's nothing he's going to be able to do until they get a bullpen. I don't care. I mean, when you got a bullpen like they got, I don't care how good your starters are. I don't care how good you play. I don't care how good you hit. You're only going to be as good as your bullpen, and they don't have a bullpen. That's low and away. So the advantage goes to Hardy, who has struck out and walked.
'86 pitch, a pretty high total here with nobody out in the 5th inning. Sox infield will trade 2 for the run. They can get the ground ball off the bat of Hardy.
Marlo Hale going through his sequence of signs at third. Wayne Kirby, the coach, at first. That ball is hit into center field. That's going to be good enough, as Andino will tag and score, and the Orioles take a 3-2 lead.
RBI number 4 for J.J. Hardy. Off to a slow start this year, but got the job done there.
So here's Markakis. He singled and scored in the first, and he went out deep to right field, taking Alex back up against the fence.
The Oriole team hasn't shown a lot of aggressiveness on the base paths, but you would think if anybody would do it in a situation, it would be here to stay out of the double play.
Well, they're 5 for 8 in stolen bases. And of course, Adam Jones has 3 of the 5. Can't get the breaking ball. And Chavez at first. He's already been thrown out one time by Tyler.
This is just the 12th game of the season, but there's been only 1 stolen base against our catchers. 1 out of 6.
Pitch out. Evans accounted 1.
AJ's been doing a terrific job of it, as has Tyler Flowers, and some credit has to go to the pitchers. They worked on it. They sped them up. They vary their times, use a slide step on occasion.
Nice pitch. 1-2 to Markakis. Ate him up inside. Little bridge. 2 down. Nice pitch.
Good fastball on the inner part of the plate. You see where Flowers sets up. That ball in a perfect spot, higher than a left-hand hitter would like it, but inside enough so he just popped it up harmlessly to third.
Adam Jones, RBI double in the first. He struck out in the third.
He came out of that on-deck circle with the idea that he was going to get a first ball fastball. He was going to swing as hard as he could.
It's a plan.
He did. Swung as hard as he could. Wasn't a fastball.
It's an idea.
We'll see a fastball away here, however.
One and one to count. That Marlin Cub game now in the top of the ninth. Marlins leading 5-3. Cincinnati leading the Cardinals 5-3. Top of the eighth in St. Louis. Bottom of the eighth in Milwaukee. 4-3 Dodgers. Just off the corner. Pretty good pitch right there and didn't get it. Ball gets by, done. So now he's going to turn it on. Now pulls up.
Cubs did not have that big a lead. And they went over there and eventually that ball getting away. I think Indy thought about third base. Dunn got to it and ran it back in the infield. E1. Here on Floyd.
Two out. Man at second. One in, and the 2-1 pitch.
BMO Harris Bank pitch tracks showed that one had a piece of the plate.
Change up. Full count. Nick Johnson. Don't throw him a cookie. Get me over breaking ball on 3-2, and it is a 5-2. Baltimore lead.
Fifth home run. 8 driven in.
Yeah, you got a cookie.
You got a roller on 3-2. We've seen them go out of the park consistently on this homestand. Well, you saw it all spring. I mean, that's just what's going to happen.
I've seen it for the last 50 years.
Yeah. Take a look at it again. Our forward home run replay. Jones knows it's gone when it leaves the bat.
Well, can't throw him a cookie right there. You can't let him hurt you because you got Johnson at the plate, who was 0 for 20. Not that he can't do something, but I mean, percentages are you got the best hitter on the team with first base open. And there's no disputing that.
No, he's a good one, and he's been hot in this series, hitting a lot of pitches right on the butt.
Well, that double he had on a great pitch from Gavin. That's what I'm saying. In that situation there, you just can't let him beat you. 5-5-0 for Baltimore. 2-5-1. Can't throw him a cookie.
Gavin's up to 104. And 30 of them coming here in the 5th. So the only clean inning out of the 4 2/3 to this point was the 1-2-3 second.
2-2. Flares that one into left field, and that'll be out number 3. So the wrong man got the big hit. Will lead it off. Adam with an RBI double, run scored. He also walked. But we're getting back to that situation there. That's not a physical mistake. That's a mental mistake. When you got the best hitter on the team, first base open, 3-2 count, and you get a guy who's 0 for 20 hitting behind him.
Yeah, Barry went in the dirt. Worst that happens is you put it in the dirt. Sometimes you'll swing at it. He strikes out a lot. If he doesn't, then you worry about Nick Johnson, who flied out harmlessly to left.
Well, this pitch here, as we've talked about, is getting over breaking balls on 3-2 to big league hitters don't work very well. They don't work very well. We saw one to Diaza last night from Tommy Hunter. 3-2 get me over, and Diaza just promptly put it in the right center field seats.
Three and 2. Gavin just rolls it right over the middle of the plate. Not trying to do it, but the thought process is get it low and away however you can do it.
9 strikeouts now for Jason Hamill. Here's Paulie. Paulie 2 for 2. All right, boys. You got some work to do, and let's start in. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Let's get something going. That's high and deep. Stretch. Chavez back on the track, right in front of Minnie. Hauls it in. He just missed it.
A warmer day, a little less wind, and that's enough to get it out of the park. BMO Harris Bank pitch tracks is a fastball right down the middle. While they're looking for it, but not a lot of carry because it wasn't the line drive like Jones hit.
That's out of play. Well, this is the first game that the wind has been blowing from left to right. The first 3, that ball Paulie hits out of here. Alex, 1 for 2 with a big RBI single back in the 3rd. That tied the game at that point at 2. Man. Tough pitch right there.
Might be a getaway day pitch. Was off the corner. That was a good
that one was a good one. So that is 10 strikeouts now, and he leads it 5-2. Central, presented by AT&T Uverse, coming up tonight at 6. Topic number 1 will be our Blackhawks, Game 4 without Hossa. Topic 2, Bulls in Miami looking to lock up the East #1 seed. So join Pat Boyle for Sportsnet Central, presented by AT&T Uverse, live from the United Center tonight at 6, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. We got a hold of them right here, boys. It's 5-2 Baltimore, top of the 6th inning. Reynolds, Davis, and Paulino face Gavin Floyd. Reynolds has struck out and walked. Orioles 2 in the 1st. We tied it with 2 in the 3rd, and then big 3 spot last inning for Baltimore. Now feel straight up. One and 2 the count.
Took a little something off, and he had Reynolds well out in front of it. So Reynolds has a day so far with no contact. I hope it stays that way.
That is a final now from Miami. 5-3 Marlins over the Cubs. Marlins now 7-6. Cubs 3-10. There you go. 6 strikeouts for Gavin. And a reminder, Want to be here in person next time your Sox take the field? Well, just head to StubHub, where it's easy to find great White Sox seats. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Chicago White Sox. Seven strikeouts for Gavin.
He's right at 111 pitches.
And here's a man who was 2 of the 7. Chris Davis twice has struck out on high fastballs. There's a humpback line drive.
And a high change. Gavin right now starting to get under a lot of pitches. And that is a sign of fatigue. Don Cooper is on the phone as Gavin is about to deliver pitch number 114. The bullpen up and going for the first time. And we'll see who ascends the hill in the pit.
Here's Paulino. He's grounded to short and he's grounded to second.
Tyler going out there on a signal from the dugout to go out and spend some time out there as Nate Jones starts to get ready. Tyler wants Jerry Meals to come out and break it up, and so he's going to spend as much time as he can. Meals halfway out there telling him to get on back to the plate.
Outfield, they are spread out. Gap out there in left center. Davis, just a decent lead for him at first. Oh, and 1 to count. Beautiful afternoon. Everything's good except the score. They lead it 5-2. Another change up. Got away with it. Comes back with a fastball.
That fastball losing a little velocity.
Pretty good pitch, didn't get it.
Emo Harris Bank pitch tracks. Tried to go inside after spending most of the at bat out away from Paulino.
Had him in the big hole. Now it's full. Ball hit hard, sucked up by Lillibridge. Nice throw over to Escobar, who turns it over, rack him up, and that'll retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. We need 3 to tie. Sunday, May 13th, to celebrate Mother's Day. First 10,000 ladies age 14 and over will receive a White Sox tote bag. So purchase your tickets by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. Ramirez, Viciedo, and Flowers here in the bottom of the sixth inning.
A good time to get to Hamill because his pitch count is also up there. He's at 93 pitches coming into this inning. Even though it is the bottom part of the order, got to get something going and try to get him out of there. No activity as of yet in the Oriole pen.
Alexei has grounded to short and walked. Takes ball one. 5-6-0 for them, 2-5-1 for us. They have stranded 3. We have stranded 6. Stranded the bases loaded in the first inning and stranded the bases loaded in the third. One to count. And the count 1-2.
That was the get off me ball swing. Was that fastball? Almost got him in the forearm. Still swung at it.
And there's a good way to start it. So the leadoff man aboard, and that'll bring up Tank.
Right in the front of the box. Alexei takes it the other way. Improving on that .293 batting average coming into this one.
Tank 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts. And Hamill has just worked him over in both of those, making some good pitches on him. Get him caught in between.
Matt Lindstrom throwing in the bullpen.
Should be. Back him up. Quickly 2 out. That's the 18th double play that Baltimore's turn. So 2 out to Tyler. Flowers has grounded to third and struck out.
10 strikeouts, tying a career high. 2 trouble innings. The first, we left the bases loaded. The third, we left the bases loaded, even though we scored 2 in the third.
First pitch strike to Flowers.
Hamill is still throwing 94, 95, so he's still got some life left.
That's low.
Number 104 forthcoming.
And it's a strike. 2-2. That's hit hard, but count remains 2-2. It's full. Two out in the payoff pitch. And he loses it. So the walk to Flowers, and that'll bring up Escobar, who has struck out and grounded to short.
Buck would love to see him get out of his inning, but I doubt if he's going to let him go after this one. Let's see if we can tack a couple of runs on before he does depart.
That ball hit into left field. Chavez back, and makes the catch. What a nice play by Endy Chavez over the shoulder, going back as he was playing shallow, and that'll retire the side. We'll go to the 7th, trailing by 3. Saturday, April 28th at 6:10 p.m. Enjoy a post-game fireworks display presented by Invesco. Invesco. Explore intentional investing with Invesco.
Nate Jones comes into the game. So the day is done for Gavin Floyd. There's a look at the numbers. This is 4th game. The walks trouble you a bit, but he's starting to smooth out the control. He's got a great arm. Gavin went 6 innings, gave up the 5 runs up on the board on 6 hits, walked 3, fanned 7.
Robert Andino will lead it off. He led off that 3-run 5th with a triple into right center field. And green is universal. Green is universal. Comcast Sportsnet as celebrates Earth Week.
That was a pretty good pitch that he didn't get called. That's one of the littlest fellows that I've seen come on the field. The tank runs him down. Not sure exactly where he was going or who he belongs to. What's the fine going to be? A dozen Oreos?
Go sit in the corner. All right. So 1-1 to count. This guy has done one heck of a job filling in for Brian Roberts.
Absolutely terrific. Both ways. I mean, he's been very good with the glove. We've seen that. And with the bat, he's been one of their peskier hitters. So Roberts still with concussion syndrome, traveling with the club. No timetable yet for his return, and Andino in his stead doing great.
There's a strike to even to count at 2. Well, we saw Andino a few times last year, and he looked impressive then. So, I mean, he's just continuing on. He's just 27 years old. Full count. And that's in the gap. Jazz will get there, cut it off, get it back in. So the leadoff man aboard. Two most precious things that a hitter has is the batter's box and the count. You might say, well, why the batter's box? The batter's box because you can create your own strike zone. Stand anywhere you want inside that batter's box.
Except if you're Miguel Cabrera. Then you can tell him that the batter's box is too short. They'll redraw it for you.
Well, as we talked about, we didn't blame him one bit. He was right on the money.
I mean, I think it's fairly amazing that he could stand in where he usually stands and take a look and be a foot or so behind that line.
Well, most hitters, not all, but most hitters stand relative to the plate, not so much the batter's box. So when he stood relative to the plate, added with the equation or the issue of the batter's box, he said, this is wrong.
This doesn't look right.
That's the first time Steve and I got almost 100 years between us in baseball, and first time we've ever seen them redo a batter's box during the game.
Mostly you just erase the back line, which is erased anyway by the time the game is halfway through.
Chavez has had a good game. Indy walked in the first and scored. Had a bunt single in the third. Was hit by a pitch in the fifth and scored. And of course just made that good catch off Escobar.
And then he had some problems had he not made that catch.
That has popped up Alexei. That's the final from Miller Park. Dodgers defeat the Brewers 4-3. Dodgers now 10-3. Milwaukee 6-7. Orang over Wolf. Guerra picked up his sixth save. Don Mattingly's club playing well. You know, a comparison, most Sox fans know Robin Ventura. They know his personality because they've seen him, you know, as a player here and everything else. A comparison to Robin as a person with character, as the knowledge of the game, his respect status is Don Mattingly.
Well, there's no doubt. But Mattingly served his apprenticeship. I mean, he was sitting next to Joe Torre, watching the way Joe did it, both in New York and Los Angeles. And then when it was time, he took over. And this year he's got a pretty talented club. And Mr. Kemp in the middle, he's real good.
He's real talented. Hardy with the 0-2 count. That's up high at 97. But Don and Robin very, very similar. Robin was a great third baseman. Mattingly was a great first baseman. Robin was a great clutch hitter. Mattingly was a great clutch hitter. But as a person, they're very, very similar. Five 7-0 for Baltimore. 2-6-1 for our Sox. He gone. Breaking ball. He'll grab some bench for out number 2.
Good hard slider. Perfect spot. That was an unhittable pitch.
So here's Markakis. Singled and scored in the first. Went out deep to right in the third and popped up to Lillibridge at third in the fifth. And if you're a visitor from South America, well, you would know a little bit of that. If you're a visitor from Europe, probably you wouldn't understand a thing we're talking about.
No, probably not.
Well, he singled and scored in the first. Went out deep to right. Then in the fifth, he popped up to Lillibridge at third. Has its own language. It's a beautiful game we all love so much. Here you go. So he strikes out Hardy. He strikes out Markakis. 7th inning stretch. 5-2 bad guy.
And here's our Miller moment. And it's Jason Hamill struggling to get out of some jams, but get out of them he did. Leaving the bases loaded twice in the early going. And making the big pitches when he had to. He leaves with a 5-2 lead. And Matt Lindstrom comes into the game.
That's the first time I've seen Hamill. He's impressive. He's got some good stuff. He's got a big arm. As I said earlier, he was 27-30 in those 3 years with Rockies. You close to 500 in that ballpark. You're pitching your behind off.
And 10 strikeouts today.
No, you
6
put
innings.
Arrieta, Hamill,
Mattis.
Mattis has got a chance to be a real good one. Yeah, this club's you and I talked about actually in game one was the fact that they get any kind of pitching at all, and they get Brian Roberts back, and Chris Davis just comes up to any part of his potential, that's going to be one heck of an offensive club. And not to say they're going to win the East, but they could win a lot of games.
They're going to surprise some people because it's a different Baltimore team. Buck's been there for a while. They've got some good young players. They're missing Brian Roberts. They can certainly use that bat back in the lineup.
Well, he's a presence. As there is a good way to start. Niaza. Now 1 for 3 with a double, a run scored, and now this walk. Well, I think everybody in baseball who is familiar with Baltimore at all would love to see them come back into prominence, because for so many years that was just an absolute terrific franchise. Baltimore is a great baseball town, and I believe they've had 14 consecutive losing seasons.
You got the Pittsburgh Pirates, which dwarfs that, and Baltimore, I think, is second.
Lillibridge, 0 for 3. He's due. Come on, Grant.
Drop.
He had the 97-mile-an-hour fastball strops.
The waiver claim from the Texas Rangers. Pedro Strop. Ooh, that's right off the hand of Paulino. And there's never a good time for that.
No.
Cold, warm, whatever. You catch it off the hand. That's why you have to keep that hand as loose as you possibly can. Preferably shielded, but that one got him in an unprotected spot.
You know, I'm just a huge Cal Ripken fan. He was such an asset to the game of baseball, not only with his performance and his record-breaking career, but the way he, outside of Arnold Palmer, he's as good as anybody. And Michael, well, I would say Arnold and Cal Ripken Jr., it's signing autographs for the fans. Somewhere down the road, I would love to see him get that ball club, because if Cal Ripken had that ball club, they wouldn't have had 14 consecutive losing seasons.
It might take him a while.
Yeah.
Especially with the cable sports network that comes with it.
Well, that would be on my wish list.
Yep.
To see him get that ball club. One and two the count. It's not unlike Nolan Ryan getting the Rangers. What's happened since he got them?
It's going pretty well for him. Put the right people in place, gave them a certain amount of autonomy. Had a good minor league system, made it better, and brought in a new pitching philosophy and a new pitching coach.
Well, you just hit the whole key on the head. Put the right people in the right spots.
And then let them do their job.
Brent goes down. He has got the hat trick. One out, and here comes Adam. Takes first pitch, fastball strike at 93. Count evens at 1 to the big man, who has walked, doubled in a run, and struck out. Adam, of course, that big Bases clearing double last night to break that game wide open. That's nasty right there, down and in. And the count 1-2.
Especially as sharp as that ball broke. Lefties like it down and in, but not breaking that sharply and that much off the plate.
Well, that's a pitch you can look for, get, and still not do anything with. Checks it up now. Piazza. There's the throw, and they get it. Says Gary Darling. That's a pretty good peg by Ronnie Paulino right there.
They got a good catching core. Finds the ball behind him, and in one motion throws to second. And he is indeed out. Good call by Gary Darling. That tag is on. His hand is not on the bag.
And actually, it's a good play by Piazza, even though you're down 3 runs here. If you think you can get it, be aggressive. That Sox have been aggressive on the base paths since spring training with Robin. I love it. I hate it. One of the worst things I hate to see is a passive running, base running team.
Well, with Piazza, he knew that Paulino missed the baseball. He didn't know it wasn't going to roll away from him, and Paulino was very fortunate. It was right there. He picked it up and threw it almost in the same motion.
When you're aggressive, you're going to get thrown out sometimes, just like that, and maybe what a lot of people consider a bad spot. But you got to stay aggressive. Full count with Konerko on deck. Ball 4, base hit. Adam. They'll probably turn him around and make it a 1-run ball game. Most of the time he's going to get a breaking ball on 3-2. Meanwhile, we're into the 8th, trailing still by 3.
Now it's time for the Illinois Lottery Anything's Possible replay, and it centers around Adam Jones, who's had a good series. This coming in the first inning, a double, drove in a run. And unfortunately, a rolling breaking ball goes out of the ballpark in the 5th. The Illinois Lottery showing you a good day for Adam Jones.
He's 2 for 3. Takes first pitch strike. Had an RBI double in the first. Struck out in the third, and then a 3-2 get me over curveball for a 2-run homer in the fifth with first base open. And Nick Johnson on deck. Nothing against Nick, but Nick 0 for 21 on the season.
And
Adam, the best hitter.
Hit a lazy fly ball to end the inning.
Pops that 97-mile-an-hour fastball up. I'll tell you this, Adam Jones got a chance to have a monster year.
He's got tremendous stuff. If he can harness his control consistently.
No, I'm talking about Adam Jones.
Oh, Adam Jones will have a big year.
He's got a chance to have a monster year.
Well, I think the only mistake the Orioles made with him was failure to lock him up on a long-term deal before he became what they felt he would be all along. I mean, you could see the talent. The talent was there. Now they got to deal with arbitration and free agency in a couple of years. He's going to make a whole lot of money in this game.
Well, he should.
Yeah.
There's not many guys more talented than he is. Johnson 0 for 3 today. Came in 0 for 18. One and 2 to count. Ground ball, foul. And a reminder, Sox fans, join us for Bat Day on Sunday, April 29th at 1:10 p.m. as the Sox take on Boston. First 10,000 children ages 13 and under receive a White Sox bat courtesy of Comcast Sportsnet. Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Two and 2. Nick, one of those guys, as we've discussed, had a chance to be a really outstanding hitter and just got plagued with injury after injury. He gone, 2 down.
Third strikeout for Nate Jones.
Nate, one of those good, strong, big arms coming out of our bullpen.
And a most unusual motion. So when you throw 97 and you can't really pick it up all that well, it's not real easy to deal with.
Yeah, when you're throwing 97 and you're true, that's one thing. With that rhythmic motion, and hitter can get a little sense of timing. But when you got that funky motion like he's got throwing 97, that's an entirely another chapter. Reynolds is 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts, and also a base on balls. That one at 96. Yeah, of all the right-handers on our staff, he would be the guy I'd least like to face because of that motion and that 97-mile-an-hour heater.
And a slider that's pretty close to unhittable.
Alexei, of course, I wouldn't want to face Peavy either. 1, 2, 3 for the Nate Meister. And we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. as our Blackhawks seek revenge against the Coyotes in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Coverage kicks off at 5 with Chicago Tribune live from the United Center. Our Blackhawks and Coyotes. Game 4 tonight at 7, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. It's the bottom of the 8th. We need 3 to tie, and we got another fireballer out there.
Pedro Strop, we saw him in the first game of the series. He throws 97. He's got a terrific slider. And this is a guy that struck out 3, pitched 2 innings, got the win. And this is a waiver claim. So Texas apparently didn't have any room for him. Fits nicely into the Baltimore bullpen.
So here's Paulie. Paulie is 2 for 3. Last time up, just missed hitting one out of here. In fact, if it had been any one of the previous 3 games, it would have gone because the wind was blowing from right to left. Today it's blowing from left to right.
On for the 6th time, and some pretty special numbers.
One and one to count. And a count 1 and 2. Tried to dot him.
Zach Stewart loosening up in the pen.
Rios on deck. Pedro with the 2-2 pitch. And a reminder, follow the White Sox with the MLB.com At Bat 12 out for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text At Bat to 31826 or visit whitesox.com for details. Full count to Konerko.
Couple of walks. Wouldn't be a bad idea.
There it is, ball 4.
There's one of them.
And here's Alex. 1 for 3, an RBI single back in the 3rd. Just tuning in, Sox will finish this game today and this homestand. Go to the airport, board our charter, going out to Seattle. Start a 6-game road trip. 3 at Safeco and 3 from Oakland. Orioles will board their charter and head on out to Anaheim for 3 before returning back to Oriole Park. 1-0 the count to Alex. Well, we got to come back in this one. And we got to get our Blackhawks. Got to get them home. There's a shot base hit. Paulie's going to make the turn. Markakis. Got to hurry, Alex. Safe. A double for Rios. And we're cooking here in the bottom of the 8th.
Alex is starting to look like the old Alex Rios, as he's taking advantage of right field. Last year, he spent a lot of time grounding out to the left side. It's a different Rios. Outruns the Armin Markakis. 2 on, nobody out. And a chance to eat away at that 3-run deficit.
So here's Alexei. He's grounded to short, walked, and singled. Infield back, so if you can, Get one in, one over. That's low.
Luis Ayala throwing in the Baltimore bullpen. We've seen him once in the series.
Tried to stay inside that one. Meanwhile, the count 1-2. Come on, Alexei. Short and quick, good guy.
Stayed right with the 97. Up and out of the strike zone, able to foul it off.
And just got a piece of that one.
Another good job of staying alive on a pitch.
Better believe it. That was filthy right there.
This one would have gotten a lot of guys. Low, out of the zone, too close to take, so you have to protect.
Once again, the 1-2. Attaboy, looked at that one nicely. Tank on deck. Orioles 2 in the first. We had 2 in the third. They added 3 in the fifth. There's a chopper. So Polly's going to score. And they just do get him. So Alex could not advance.
RBI number 3 for Ramirez. Cuts the deficit to 2. Still a man in scoring position.
Here's Viciado. Tank 0 for 3 today. All over it, Mercy just underneath it.
Now it's time for our AT&T UVerse Multi-View. Give you a shot at center field camera, along with Rios representing the 4th run of the game. And down the third base line.
He's had 2 that he was right on and just underneath. Two down.
It's a hard breaking slider that has the plate. And didn't like it very much, but good call by Jerry Meals.
So here's Tyler. Got to dial it up. Flow. Takes that one at 99.
Tough to hit 99 on the outside part of the plate at the knees.
And this gun is one of the more accurate ones in the American League. Now 1 at 97, 1-1 to count.
Can't do anything with that. That ball was in off the plate inside, and
at 98.
He's getting tremendous movement on it. I think to Tyler, he saw it as a strike. By the time it got to him, it was a good few inches inside. Our Nissan pitch tracks will show you that one off the plate inside. Good pitcher's pitch. Just have to lay off it if you can.
One of the guys that could handle that was a guy who played a long time ago. He could have hit that ball hard and kept it fair, and that was Ryan Sandberg.
Gary Sheffield, another one.
He might have hit that one over the roof foul over our dugout. Ryan was a great inside fastball hitter.
It's pretty hard watching. Well, all those years I was watching him play, and you'd go see the ball go down the line. You'd expect it to hook. It just stayed down that line, straight as a string.
There's that slider. We had a chance. We had men on second, third, nobody out. We came up with one. Could have done more.
Getting an opportunity to pitch for the second time in the series. First time didn't go particularly well. That was the big 10th inning in the opener of the series. But the man at the tail end of the bullpen, the guy that you use to eat up some innings perhaps in a longer stint, doesn't get a whole lot of work. Stewart has not gotten a whole lot of work.
That's one reason Robbins got him right back out there. After that tough outing in the opener, as there's a strike. Chris Davis, he's 1 for 3. Going to the count. Paulino on deck and Dino in the hole. 5-7-0 for Baltimore, 3-7-1 for us, but they've stranded 3. We've stranded 7.
Their closer, Jim Johnson, loosening in the pen. He has a big sinker.
And besides those LOBs, we have K'd 14 times.
It's starting to be some cause for concern. because that's a lot of no contact. Could turn into 5 innings of no contact. It's very tough on the offense if you're going to have that many strikeouts on a consistent basis.
Well, you can have them if you're hitting 3 or 4 home runs a game.
Yeah, you can. Especially with a walker through sprinkled in.
Here you go. And that is strikeout number 11 for us. Gavin had 7. Nate had 3. And here's Paulino. And he is 0 for 3 today. For our guys in the 9th, schedule hitters are Escobar, Diaza, Lilliebridge, Dunn, Canergo, Rios, and hopefully they'll get it done. Oh, and 2 the count.
One thing to watch is AJ did not start. He's been red hot, and it's a right-handed closer, and he's got a left-handed bat.
I imagine there's a good chance he might find his way in there somewhere. The ball bounced up and hit that fan right underneath the chin. White.
Got a good beard, as they say in boxing. Didn't go down for a minute.
1 and 2. Just tuning in, Gavin Floyd against Jason Hamill. Those were the starters. Gavin went 6, gave up 5 runs, earned on 6 hits, 3 walks, had 7 strikeouts. Hamill had 6 innings, 2 runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, had 10 strikeouts. At him 0-2, it is now full. So Paulino at first, and here's Andino, who's 2 for 3 with a triple, single, and a run scored.
Six hits in the series. It's been a good one for him, both offensively and defensively.
There's a chopper down the Lillibridge. They're going to go to second just to get him. And he runs too well on a slow hitter.
And he scored a couple of runs today, but it was a big catch he made in left field that helped contribute to his pretty good day.
And they know a good lead. First of a 3-game set from Safeco Field in Seattle. He did not go.
There are the matchups. Felix Hernandez conspicuously absent, which is a good thing.
There he goes. Got him. Beautiful peg right there by Flowers, and we'll go to the bottom of the 9th. We need 2 to tie.
And it's a big closer, Jim Johnson. Last year he had 9 saves. This year he is a full-time closer. He's 5 for 5, including 1 in this series. There you look at the numbers. Not particularly a strikeout pitcher, but he has a terrific sinker.
He's a big man, 6'6", 240, 28 years old, out of Sarasota. So here we go. Escobar to lead it off. Diaz on deck. Eduardo is 0 for 3. Takes first pitch strike. Five, 8-0 for the Orioles. 3-7-1 for our guys. Big inning was the 5th for them, and a big hit was the 2-run homer by Adam Jones. A 3-2 curveball with first base open. Chopper 2 hopper, and a big out for them. First out.
And when Johnson is right, that's what you see. Hitters consistently hitting the top of the ball and beating it right into the ground.
Yeah, we mentioned and talked about how long you been at broadcasting now?
Going on 30 years.
Okay, so we got about 65 years in. We've been talking about it for 65 years. When you get a sinker baller, 2 things. You got to make him get it up.
Yep.
Or we got the batter's box. That'll help you make him get it up.
Well, Lexi would be a good matchup, most likely with Johnson. But if he comes to bat this inning, he's going to be in pretty good shape. As there you look at AJ, hoping that Diaz can get on base and he can come up representing the tying run.
Alejandro is 1 for 3. Chops that one foul down past Harrell. Rios has had a good day. 2 for 4 RBI single. Big double last inning, putting Pauly, who had walked, on third. And we could only scratch out 1 run.
He's on pitch tracks, just off the plate.
That's bad. That's really bad.
Started off the plate, moved further off the plate.
That's bad. In fact, that's brutal. So here's AJ. AJ has been on a tear. Got us off to a good start last night, second inning. Just a bullet. Right off the foul pole.
Stayed just fair enough, long enough.
Man, the count 3-0.
The object in this inning was somehow to get to Dunn and Konerko, if need be.
There's one. Yeah, when you get the bat taken out of your hand like Alejandro just got the bat, that's in the bottom of the ninth in a close ball game. That's terrible. AJ taking all the way, so a full count. And that's fouled out of play. And that's ball 4. So the tying run does indeed come to the plate.
And the big man with some heroics last night, looking for a little more of the same here today. AJ is now taken down from Morel as a pinch runner. So AJ gets on base, extends the game, does his job, and brings the tying run to the plate.
Adam 1 for 3 with that big RBI double in the third. He also scored. Got a modified shift on. Outfield spread out. One time, Biggin. And the count 2-0. The 2-1 pitch. 3-1 with Pauly on deck. It's full. Ball 4 base hit. Davis playing behind Brent. And now we'll give him a good lead. Good jump in case there's a twinger to pay off. And he just got a piece of it.
Looked like the swan song for a minute. But Paulino could not hang on. And new life for Adam Dunn. The pitch was low and out of the zone. Felt like he had to protect. And was able to stay alive.
Once again, the payoff. There's a shot, base hit. So Brent makes the turn. They're going to hold him at third. How sweet it is.
Good at bat by Adam Dunn, battling a sinker baller. He'll leave for a pinch runner. It's Gordon Beckham. Nice job by the big man to bring the captain to the plate, representing the winning run. Dunn goes right back up the middle. On base 3 times today. None bigger than that one.
So Adam, who had that big bases clearing double last night, breaking that game open. 2 for 4 today. And here's Paulie, who's 2 for 3 today. Paulie just looks back at Meals.
Yeah, that pitch was good 3 inches off the outside corner. Here's head-to-head against Johnson. A Nissan pitch tracks. I get to be a little closer than that.
Jerry is having a bad inning here. And the count evens at 1.
I don't blame Johnson for going out there again. If you got one out there where Paulie couldn't get to it, might go out there again.
Big pitch right here, the 1-1. And the advantage goes to Paulie. Morel at third, tying run at first, and Beckham.
In the outfield, playing the no double set. As deep as they can get all the way around. But a gapper is pretty much going to score Beckham from first base.
That got him.
Now Meals hasn't said anything.
Nope.
But I'm pretty sure that got a piece of him. And Paulie is going, wait a second, what is this? Nobody's saying anything.
Meals is having a bad inning. Oh, yeah, he tells him to go. And now here comes Buck.
Well, Jerry Meals made no call. That's what started this.
That's what causes the whole confusion.
Now, Paulie does get hit. He gets hit right off the hand. And Buck is giving Meals an earful.
And that Showalter goes back. Sacks packed with socks, and here comes Alex, who's 2 for 4. RBI single in the third, a double last inning. Set up what could have been a big inning for us. And good speed at third and second. Checks it up, fouls it off. And the count, that's a tough one right there, 0-1.
That ball was well up and in. If you have the count go in your favor, as well as Alex has been swinging it, you'd be in a little better shape. But he's been using right and right field a lot toward the latter portions of this homestand and doing it effectively.
He's in the big hole, nothing in 2. You got to cinch it up and hunker down right here, 51. 2 outs. Sacks packed. And the 0-2 pitch. That's low. Ball gets away as he's called out. And this ball game is over. So Alex giving Jerry Meals a piece of his mind right there. Meanwhile, Sox have stranded the bases loaded 3 times in this game. And as we check out our GMC player of the game, it is Jason Hamill. Picks up his 2nd victory. And Steve, Sox have been in every game this year.
Well, they had a chance at this one, and unfortunately came up short. Gavin Floyd had a tough time today. Went 6, gave up 5 runs. But our Sox struck out 16 times, which is usually a game you're going to lose.
All right, so for my partner Steve Stone, our director Jim Angio, our producer John Walsh, our associate producer Keon Dolachahi, our technical manager Mark Harper, for the executive producer Jim Cornell Jr., and up here in the booth, Mike Mayer, Frank D'Amato, and the Mayor Bean Joe Group. This is the Hawk. So long, everybody. You've been watching